Yeah, I told you guys how I'm hard on cameras. Well, how old is this camera? Maybe what? 5, 6, 7 months old, if that. Well, I dropped it. Well, I dropped it a number of times, but I dropped it out there doing something, and now I have that. So another one bites the dust. So this is why I don't spend a lot of money on cameras, or try not to. Now when I say a lot of money, basically this one here was 200 bucks, and I try to stay around that $200 figure. I think not too long ago I bought a Panasonic that I broke, and I think that cost me almost 300. It was a 370, I think, and I would probably never buy another one of them. I didn't like it at all. Sorry guys, I needed that. But now that I gotta find another camera, I want to try to find one that's got a better field of view. I was looking, and none of them seem to list it. So I think what I'll do is I'll call B&H in New York and see what they have to say. And then I'll look around a little bit to see what kind of prices are out there. B&H is usually pretty good as far as prices. I mean, they're not the cheapest, but they're fair. You know, they're not the most expensive either. And they're only a one-day shipping, because New York, I mean, they're probably, well, I can drive to New York in an hour. So, you know, an hour, 15 minutes by the time I get into the city. So it's not that it's all that far away. So now you can tell that's green screen. I'm talking about on TV. They were just showing this whole scene, and you could tell it was green screen. Poor. Anyway, so I gotta look for another camera. So right now I'm using the Canon 4Ti. No, the T4i, which I don't like using all the time because it's not a super expensive camera, but it's an expensive camera. I think when I bought it, it was $1,000. Now, and I bought extra lenses because of the lenses that come with it. The autofocus is noisy, so I bought the newer lenses so they're not noisy. You know, but now you could probably pick it up for like 500 bucks. I don't know. But meanwhile, again, I don't want to just use it all the time because I know how I am. And this one here is better when you're just working in front of it, not when you're moving around with it. So this would be good if I do any green screen stuff, but I still got to get a piece of shit camera. The body cam actually does nice as well, but there's no screen on it for me to see. I have no controls, no nothing. So that one makes it tough. The 360 camera is a fun camera to use, but you still need, in my opinion, a small camcorder type recorder, and that's what I need to find. Alright guys, let me go see what the wife's doing outside, and I'll be back. Alright. I don't know if you guys know Ken or not. He's got a channel out there, and I know I'm going to screw it up. Something about easy and tips and tricks or something. Don't really remember exactly what it was, but that's close. But about 4 months ago or more, he had done a lamp out of a piece of wood. And I said, that's something I may want to try. So I mentioned to him, gee, that's something I may want to try. And, you know, and he said, oh, great, let me know how it's going to come out, blah, 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 blah. And, well, it's taken me longer to do. Only because I've got 100 other things that I'm doing. So, yeah, I just can't do one thing. I just haven't got time to do that. So this is where I'm at. It's basically done. I just got to find the right shade. I was going to make one out of bark. I didn't like the way it was coming out. And then I seen a couple that I kind of thought, you know, that on the internet, you know, that may work all right. You know, I forgot, Amazon or something. You know, I don't know. But if it doesn't, do I really want to spend a lot of money buying shades? So what I do is when I go to Walmart or what the hell's the other store around here? A couple of those big box stores. You know, I look at the shades to see if something happens to catch my eye. That's all. So I haven't really found one yet. Now the wires all run on this thing. The wire comes in. It's hidden all the way. Comes in, comes up through, and out up here. I have the piece to go in, which will take me less than 5 minutes to hook up. I've got a cord switch and the plug. But to be honest, I'm just waiting to find the right shade. And again, I have thousands of things going on. I just can't put away time to do just one thing. That's why it's taken as much time as it is. And then I wanted to putz around because, you know, I kind of went off track farting around with the wood using the resin, the epoxy. You know, I wanted to do something. I seen that. I said, you know what? That's a nice little piece. I like the way it looks. Am I going to do anything with it? I don't know. I screwed it to a piece of wood on the bottom. I put a polyurethane on it. I didn't like the way it looked, so I just put a coat of clear resin epoxy on it. I like the way that looks. However, the epoxy resin's more expensive. You know, you're talking $100 for a kit, you know, versus $20 for a can. But I just like the look of the resin better. So I started putzing around with that. I got a few of these laying around here someplace. But I just wanted to let Ken know that, you know, I'm still working on it. It's just that I have, like I say, a lot of things going on. I just can't say, boom. You know, I never know when I'm going to get called out. Never know if I got to go for a meeting. I got 100 other things I got to take care of that is actually more important than a lamp. All right, and the other thing is I really haven't got a use for this lamp, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. My kid said he'll take it, you know, and he's not saying that because he's just looking at, oh, I'll get it out of your hair. But he was down here the other day and he said it's nice, he likes it, he'll take it, you know. So okay, so but I told him, Steve, don't rush, because like I say, he goes, I totally know about your schedule. So he says, no rush. He says, when it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't get done, he said that's okay too. So he didn't care one way or another on what goes on with the lamp. But like I said, I did want to give a heads up on it. Now this is the other wood that I was playing with. I haven't done a base on it yet or anything, but this is another piece of wood, and it's got the colored epoxy in it. This one I was going to do something with because I liked the way the wood looked, but it's just a dust collector, so that's really not going to be good for anything. I mean, I like the character, but it's just going to be a pain in the ass. I can see it happening. So that's not going to work at all. Again, a dust collector. There, dust collector. Yeah. But when I seen it, I said, you know what? I like this character. You know, it's got something about it that I like. But again, I just had no use for it. Once I put an epoxy on it, I realized that, you know what, that is going to be a pain in the ass to try to keep clean. This one, I put the colored blue in there. There's a little blue in here. There's a little blue in here. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a little red in this little cavity here. This base is not for this. It's just here to hold this thing. You know. But again, I'm just putzing around. Now I got another one around here someplace. And I don't know where the hell I put it. Huh. Where did I put it? Yeah, I started off on this wood fetish for some reason. I found this one that kind of sits. So I kind of like the way that sits. So I seen that and I said, look at that. And it was sitting there like that. So I said, you know what? That has some promise to it. So I put a quick coat of polyurethane on it just to kind of hold it until I decide if I want to do anything with it or not. So, but getting back to the lamp, as soon as I find the shade, and again, I'm not going to go out riding around, going nuts, trying to find something. When I see it, I'll know it. Now see, these are all Kenny's fault. That's the lamp to the left. This other one was going to be. I just haven't decided yet. This one here has a little bit of a color here, and I can't quite figure out what that is. I don't remember if that was part of the wood or not. I don't know if you can see that on there or not. The white. But this is all the epoxy filled. So that seems to be okay. This is not the base for it. Again, it's just there to hold it. So, but this one has some nice character to it as well. So that too would probably make something or other. Again, I started playing with this and I ended up going cuckoo. This has a light in it actually. Or does it? No, this one has the light in it. But I haven't done anything with it yet. Nope, this doesn't have a light in it. It has the wiring for an LED. That's what that is. So this is wired for a light. But again, I don't know exactly. This one I don't think is going to do much. It was starting to look like something, but then other than like looking like a little tree person, it doesn't do much for me. Huh?
Did you find it?
I told you I found them.
Oh. I heard you say something. I just didn't know.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be coming in.
All right.
This one, it does have a hole all the way through it. I don't know if you'll see it from there or not, but if I put a light in there, you can't really tell from there, but there is a light in there. It's just with all the light around here, you really can't tell, but there's a light in there. I don't know if you can see it glow or not. So if I ran an LED chain in there, you know, with some low heat, it would glow. So there's that one. Does have, yeah. So you can see it, but you're not going to see it. But again, I know I went a little bonkers with it. I'm done going bonkers with wood. I'm going to finish that lamp eventually. Like I say, if a shade happens to jump in front of me and said, I'll finish it off. If not, I'll just sit around with the other ones. So, yeah, it gave me something to do. You know, some, what do you call it? No-brainer time. You know, sometimes you just want something to do that has nothing to do with anything, and you just, whatever. You know what I mean? And that's what it did. So, I mean, I spent a few $100s for resin, but yeah, you know, what are you going to do? So, but that's kind of where I'm at. This one here it's kind of like, maybe not type of thing. I don't know. I mean, it's really, for a while it was starting to look good, but I don't know. It's going to need some work. This one's not too bad. This one I actually like because it does have a lot of natural cracks in it that I were able to fill in with the epoxy. I think you can see some of those natural cracks. I can't see what you're doing here. These colors, these were all natural cracks in here, so I was able to kind of like just take some different color epoxy and kind of fill it in, and then I cleared it with a clear epoxy or resin, and that's what I ended up with. So like I say, it's kind of like, all right. But getting back to the lamp, Ken, like I say, it'll get done sooner or later. When it gets done, it gets done. I'm kind of done with it for now until the shade comes in. Once it come in, once I find a shade that I think will fit it, I'll put the shade on it, I'll show it, and I'll just give it to my kid. So